The least heard people have the most important things to say. Our stories come from Appalachia. Our home is West Virginia. Together, we are telling it like it is. Together, we are spilling the black girl tea.
Hello, I am Jennifer Wells, and I'm your host today for the episode called Girls and Curls, in which we will discuss the experiences of Black women and girls in schools and society. And our focus is going to be on hair, beauty in particular, makeup, as well as style. So I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Wells, she, her. I am native New Orleanian who was a transplant in West Virginia for 17 years. I arrived in West Virginia in September of 2005 and I moved in March of 2022. While I had the privilege of living in West Virginia, I was both a social worker, I was a student, and I rounded it out running a nonprofit that was statewide. And it gave me great pleasure to be in amongst the communities in West Virginia, which became my second home. And something that I am looking forward to, a future or a dream goal, is I'm getting up in age as much as I might not want to admit it. And that is getting me closer to this conversation around retirement. And I am dreaming of how much freedom, hopefully even liberation, awaits me when I am no longer punching a clock. I love the job that I have, but I am so looking forward to having time that is only mine and my family's. And so, with that, I am excited to welcome the folks that are going to be digging into this conversation with me. And I will toss it over to Jaden Carter to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Jaden Carter. I'm 22 years old, pronoun she, her. I was born in Charleston, West Virginia. Then I was raised in Frederick, Maryland. And then preteen years, I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. That's where I graduated high school. And now I'm back in West Virginia. I did some internships with ACLU. I've been getting into politics and journalism a lot more in West Virginia. So I think a future goal is just to expand my journalism career. I love telling specifically Black stories and speaking for Black people. And then also some filmmaking, writing Black stories, and just having a positive view of Black people in television, movies, and breaking a lot of stereotypes. Yeah.
I love that, Jaden. Who you tossing it to?
I'm going to toss it to Cameron.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cameron Presley. I was born and raised in Charleston, West Virginia. I went to West Virginia University. I got my bachelor's in international studies in Spanish, and then I got my MPA, Master's in Public Administration from there too. And now I'm in Omaha, Nebraska at Creighton Law, about to start my second year of law school. I'm about to be 25 in about, I think, 13 days, so I'm really excited. My pronouns are she, her. My future goal is to be an attorney, either practicing in tax law or data security and privacy. And my dream goal is to run a nonprofit that helps Black and brown businesses do pro bono work. I'm going to pass it off to Maya.
Hi, my name is Maya. I was born in DC and then I later moved to Charleston. I'm 16 years old and I go by she, her. I'm in a lot of programs. I do Upper Bound, Zenos, and I really like sports. I like to play softball and volleyball, and I'm trying a new sport actually, is color guard. My goal is to go to Hampton University and to later become a pediatrician because I really like helping people and I like working with kids as well. So I just feel like being a pediatrician is just going to be that for me. And I'm going to be in this program called Ben Franklin. It's going to actually help me in my nursing field, and then later I'm gonna become a pediatrician. And yeah, and I'm gonna pass it to Frida.
Hi, my name is Frida. I was born in New York and later I came to West Virginia where I was raised. I live here now. And I go to Capitol High School, my bad. And my goal is to become a farmer. I want to become a farmer of I want to have a berry farm and like have lots of animals and stuff, but that's just like a long-term goal. But what I want to be is a dentist, dental hygienist, to be specific, however you say it. I also do I do carver, which is going to help me. It's going to help me while I'm doing assisting. And I'm also doing color guard too. That's all.
That's not all. That's fantastic. I am so excited about who I'm in part, like who I'm sharing space with tonight. Such a rich group of people. I love the fact that there's such a mix of we've come in and out of West Virginia. I am assuming we hold some love for the state. I know being a Black woman or Black girl in West Virginia has its own unique experience. And so I'm hoping that we dig in a little bit into that tonight and just have a really great conversation about what makes us all unique. And just from those introductions, I'm already hearing it. There's one through line. I hear a lot of care and caring for others laced in both our current work, our future goals, which is exciting. I think is also kind of a foundation of how we as Black women exist in this world and particularly in this country. But I'm just happy and excited for the talent and the brilliance that I got surrounding me right now. So you are giving me great hope as I am looking to close the doors and set sail on my own retirement as you are kicking off really brilliant careers. So tonight we want to dig into beauty culture, style, be it makeup, be it hair, what it means to us, what we bring to it and what we get out of it, right? So I would love for us to start, each of us in this circle around the table, to talk about what is our own beauty story? What is the thing that makes you you? How would you describe your style? If you want to talk about where you got your style, who's influenced, or who do you influence? I would just love to hear a little bit more about what we all bring to this conversation around beauty and style. Who wants to jump in?
I'll
Awesome.
go. Oh.
You can go, Frida.
No, you can go. You can go. You probably have something better than me. You can go.
Okay, so it's like really hard to describe my style because I have different styles for depending on what I'm doing.
Mhm.
Usually I call it corporate baddie. When I'm like going to open houses and things, I always try to wear something that stands out. So I have like really good pants that stand out, and I'll wear a neutral top, or I'll do the reverse neutral pants, beautiful top, which is like really fun, and people recognize me, they remember me, they're like, oh, you wore that pink blazer, or you had those really pretty striped pants. So that makes me like stand out a little bit more. Then like whenever I go to concerts, I always try to match the style of the artist I'm going to. So I get on TikTok and I look at the kind of fit the vibe for what I'm doing because I don't want to look like a fish out of water. But usually I have like a style. It's really hard to describe. I would say like fall, autumn wear, but I mix it into all the seasons. That's my thing. I like the neutral browns and yellows and like the oranges, the burnt oranges. And I always have a good pair of boots, whether it's Doc Martens or any type of boot, I'm ready for it. So it really for summer, it's really hard for me because I'm just like wearing my boots. I love my hair. I love mixing up different hairstyles, whether that be soft locks or butterfly locks. I try to do stuff a lot more in the winter because hair protection. And so I try to do that. But I started doing wigs. I love wearing a wig, but it's too hot for a wig right now.
I feel you on that, Cameron. Something that really resonated with your story is when you said, I style for like whatever the situation is or like kind of my mood. And I can say this, as somebody that's older, I don't mind being the oldest person on this room, but when I was a little bit younger and as my confidence needed to get like a little bit of a boost or to be energized, I would find the baddest outfit that I had in my closet. Like if I had a meeting or I knew I was going to put my foot down and like demand some respect, and there were several times in my 20s I had to do it, then I put whatever outfit I thought was the baddest in my closet. And you couldn't tell me nothing when I walked out the door, which is exactly what I needed when I walked into the workplace and needed to put my foot down. So I can't even tell you, like you brought back a whole flush of memories for me. Yeah, we're gonna have a good conversation today. And
That's what I
I
do
saw
all
you,
the time.
Frida. You were ready to go.
Oh yeah. Because so what I call like my beauty standards, like I don't wear makeup or anything like that, like not cis girls to do. But I don't like I'm very neutral. I get up and I go. So like whatever I usually find is what I put on. Like if I think my shirt, like I try to like sandwich color it, like if my top matches the same color my shoes, it doesn't matter what else you have on. Like that's just how I roll. And like school, I'm always late or something. Like I'm always like late. So throw on what I can. Like if I find like these pants and I'm like, okay. But most of my outfits I try to plan the night before, but it just doesn't work out. And then I like to do makeup. I do experiment with them like homecoming and things like prom and dances and formals and stuff. I love to, put a little bedazzle on my own spin, love to dress up. It's really fun. I can't wear heels though, so yeah. But I just love that. But as far as the fashion, I'm like real basic. I'm just like whatever I have, I put on. And my hair, I love my natural hair, but sometimes it is so hard to tame. So I put them in these braids and they just stay like this for about 3 to 2 months until they need a whole new do because I just cannot do with them. I like earrings and stuff like that. But that's all. I'm just very like not too like styled up, but I just kind of keep it on a line.
I feel like with my style, I feel like I have a really basic style, but I make sure to try to keep it the same. Like I don't wear too many different colors. Like if you see me at school or somewhere, it's always either black, white, brown, purple. It's never anything new. And I don't know why I like that. I just feel like it's just easier for me because I don't plan mine the night before. I have to wake up and I'm always just late to the bus stop. But that's when I plan my outfit is in the morning. But like I feel like I am very specific about what I wear to school, especially because when I was in like middle school, I just throw on and wear whatever and just whatever I could find in my closet, I just put on, go to school. And in middle school, they weren't too happy about that. So like, I feel like certain things people would say about maybe my outfits probably like changed my style, and it's probably the way it is now. And my hair, I care about my hair a lot. Like I used to not try new hairstyles; it'd just be box braids or crochet. But I'll always have to have my hair done because I can't wear my natural hair. It's just like hard to tame. So like I just try to get in box braids or like Filani. So it's just stuff like that. But I feel like my style, it's just like real basic. Like I just like just basic, simple colors. Cause I feel like it can just go with anything. That's why like all my shoes are just basic colors. My clothes just basic. But like I try to make sure I match all the time. But yeah, that's just kind of my style. Just neutral and basic.
I love it. I have a curiosity for you, Maya. When you say they weren't happy in middle school, who are the they? Who are the people that weren't happy with your outfit choices? I'm curious.
It was just like a few people in my class. Like in 8th grade, we were all in like this the smart people's class, I guess, kind of, and they were like they'd say how they felt about your style or certain shoes or clothes or how your hair was. And it did bother me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So I feel like once I got out, I was headed towards my freshman year of high school. I was so like I cared about what people thought a lot. Like I had to make sure I matched and was just neutral, so like nobody could say anything. So I feel like that's why I like basic stuff or like neutral colors, because like you can't say anything. It's neutral. And I don't care so much now what people think because I feel like I've grown and I just wear what I want to wear, but I haven't detached from that basic or that neutral wear. And I just feel like I like it. So I just feel like it's just gonna stay with me. And I still in like the back of my head, I'm still like, oh, what if somebody says something about this? Or what if they do this or do that? So I just feel like 8th grade year really like helped me choose my style and start really caring about my appearance, I'd say. Because I used to just not care about it a lot, but I look good, decent, but like it was just threw on and went out. But I feel like now I really care and I just like wear what makes me happy, which is just neutral colors. But yeah.
Here you go. Jaden, what you got?
Say my beauty story, it's a lot. So whenever I was younger, I would play in my mom's makeup because she was a makeup girly and she would dress nice every day for work. So I started playing in her makeup from a young age. I had a struggle with my makeup because my mom, she's a different complexion than me. She's darker skin. And I would wear her foundation as like 11, 10. And people would look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you? Like, your foundation does not match your face. And so I struggled with my makeup. I didn't start getting good till probably like 19, 20 when I finally started figuring it out a little. And as far as my hair, I would wear like my natural hair all throughout elementary school, but there there was this thing where if your hair wasn't naturally curly and long, or if it wasn't straight and long, then it was automatically you're bald and ugly and you got nappy hair. So I heard that a lot in elementary school. So I started to get really insecure about my hair going into middle school. So I'll make sure I flat iron it every single day, so it looks as long as it can possibly look. And then I got damaged. So then that's when I started rocking the box braids every day throughout middle school. And my box braids, I didn't know how to redo them on my own. My mom was like, y'all got to figure out how to do your hair by yourself. So I would have people tell me your hair looks like dreads, your box braids are old. I got bullied a lot in middle school off of appearance, or if you didn't dress a certain way or didn't have Jordans, because I never been a shoe head. So I just was trying to figure out, okay, how do I dress so that nobody says anything about me? So what's the safe option? Once I got into high school, that's when I started finding my own sense of style and playing with different hair. Started to learn how to do my hair in high school. So I did start to get more attention. I kind of relied on my looks because of my social anxiety. So I was like, okay, if I look pretty, then they might not pick on me. So they can't be like, oh, you're quiet. What's wrong with you? They'll just be like, oh, she looks nice. So I did rely on style and hair a lot starting in high school just because of my experience in middle school. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Jaden, because that is real. I want to name us as we were just introducing ourselves. First, the energy, how it shifted to like we got hyped as we were starting to get into our own stories. I watched people's expressions change. I heard the tone of voice. You got a little bit, I don't know, jazzed up. And as you're describing it, I heard how our style is both how we define ourselves and how we stand out, which Cameron, that resonates because I recently started experimenting with color myself and being able to be a little bit more bold and even to a certain extent brave with wanting to draw attention to myself. So like, and I'm hearing also the other side of that, both from Jaden and from Maya and Frida, as you were talking about, hey, like I keep it simple, which oddly enough, I'm gonna bring this up. Oddly enough, it amazes me how the dominant white culture will like name something. And so as y'all are saying, hey, look, I just throw on, I'm basic, I look good, I think I'm fine, I keep it to some minimal colors. That like that's a whole like thing on TikTok about minimal style. And they have people that actually have written ebooks on how to have a capsule wardrobe and how to dress minimally. So I just find it hysterical that the things that we just say, like, hey, this is just what we do, it's just how we adapt to our environment, to our school, how we make certain that we, like, and the idea of bullying is so real. I want to like put a pin in that so we can go back to that. But I just find it funny how our environment shapes how we either want to express ourselves, decide, make those choices about expressing ourselves, and listening to see who influenced. Peers are such a huge piece of it, right? I can remember those days. It's been a long time since I've been in that, but it's not like it's that different even in your 30s and your 40s as you're walking into certain work environments and you're checking the vibe and understanding like how people are going to receive you, how much respect you'll get based on how you appear, right? Is my hair the right like length? Is it the right like texture? Because people are starting to make judgment. But I wanted to stick a little bit with the fact that, there is that negative side of it, right? That you guys all drew out the fact that, people cannot be kind. People in our own community, people who we're around a lot, and that does have an impact. And I don't know, Jaden or Maya or anyone else, if you wanted to expound on that a little bit more or talk about it a little bit more as you're like talking through, even going a little bit deeper in your own beauty story.
Yeah, I have because I'm darker skinned, and so I always got you're pretty for a black girl. And so that always I'm just like, okay. So usually like that, I stopped having that like mentality during college. Now while I'm corporate baddie now in college, I didn't start dressing really good until like 3 years ago. Same with my hair. I was not giving, I would go back to my Snapchat stories. I'm like, oh, we were looking rough. We had a second blow up. Wow. But yeah, like sometimes like you're cute for a black girl, or when people like I'm texting Or then like say like I'm talking to someone and then they see me in person. They're like, "Oh, that's what you look like." And I'm like, "Yeah, I look pretty good, huh?" Or like they don't my I guess my face doesn't match my voice. So when they see me and I kind of like seeing the surprise. So I'm like, "You didn't know you were talking to a Black girl and now you're shocked and you can't do anything about it." So
I
I
used
kind
to get the
of
same
that.
thing, but it was like mostly about like my body. Like I was always chunky since sixth grade, and they'd say the same thing like, "Oh, you're pretty for like a chunky girl, a plus size girl." I'm just kind of like, "What do you mean?" Like I was just always kind of like, "Do we not all, you know?" But
Mhm.
Yeah, my thing is, are you
do
gonna tell
you?
your mom and sister that?
I feel like for me, I kind of get compared, not too much really. I just had this friend in middle school. We're still bestest friends. I love her. And we just get compared, I guess, because like she's really pretty and she kept herself like her style's nice and she just always had that like good style to her. And we're both tall and we're both Black girls. So we just constantly get compared. And I guess since I was still finding my style, I still am now because people they still have a lot to say, especially in high school, because it gets no easier. And they kind of compare us. And I was always, they'd say the negative stuff to me. And I just feel like I still think about it and I still have to like, remember like I'm the one wearing it, and as long as I think it's cute, it shouldn't matter. But I still have the problem with like caring what other people think. Like if somebody says my shirt's ugly, it will actually bother me a lot more than it should, because I'm just like so used to just trying to like fit in so nobody says too much about what I wear or how my hair is. That's why like this school year actually I'm trying something new, and I've actually bought new clothes. I'm trying to get my own like different shoes. And it's just like high school, they just have a lot of negative things to say, especially about your style and your hair. And I'm just trying to break away from that because your classmates aren't nice.
Something that's coming up for me as you guys are talking is the understanding, and I think it's been researched about the adultification of Black girls, right? The fact that um, they sexualize us a lot earlier in age. They also apply adult responsibilities on our shoulders. And just listening to you have what is the normal experience in high school, right? Across the board, I think if we pulled anyone into a conversation, no matter their race or gender, middle school and high school are hard years, right? Those are times when your peers are really like trying to influence you, even though they probably have crappy judgment. But it's about power, right? It's about power and them feeling themselves and finding their own identity and like existing in their own way. And they make terrible mistakes and they say horrible things. We teenagers, pre-adolescents, young adults, even some adults, let me just go that far, say horrible things of judgment. And I just heard it picking it up in the colorism and the hair texturisms that you guys were that are like impacting or like surfacing in your stories. But something that's also coming to me, and I think it's good that you guys are speaking it out. We as Black women and Black girls have normal development experiences. We are not so strong that nothing that can be said to us doesn't have an impact, right? People shoot arrows, we get cut. And I think that I'm like, I don't love that you've had the experiences, but I appreciate the fact that you're able to say it, and that hopefully the people that will listen will hear the fact that we are not Teflon. Things do not just bounce off of us. Comments, compliments, insults, all the things, bullying, picking on us, they all land, and they land somewhere and they get absorbed. Because like I always see when folks are imitating us, right? People love to imitate what they feel is a Black woman's facade of confidence, of dominance, of being able to just take on anything. And they assume that we all can do that. And it's like, no, I don't. At first, I remember being younger and wanting to not feel um, as sensitive at times about my own appearance. Even now, I still like, I looked at pictures today that I had to submit. Some places like, oh, I don't want to submit that picture. I don't even look that good in it. And just understanding that we have the same experiences. I need folks to understand young Black girls need to be held and hold, young adults, young Black women need to be held and protected. We are not like, I look pretty for a Black girl, or the idea that your weight is even coming into a comment is outrageous to me. But it also is like, those are the things people feel comfortable saying to us. because they just assume it'll bounce off of them. They're so confident they'll figure it out and it'll be fine. And I would love your thoughts on that, but I'm loving the fact that we're saying it and explicitly saying it. And I hope people take away, don't just come at us with crazy comments, crazy responses, because I know some of us will have hands and ready to like deal with the situation. But for the majority of us, those comments land and they live in our heads and they impact the choices we make. But thank you all for sharing. Again, if you got any other comments to add on, please feel free.
I would say one thing that came to mind for talking was a big comment that I got growing up was, and mostly just from white people. Sometimes I'll get it from Black men. And if I get it from a Black girl, I know it's a compliment, but it'll be the, is that your real hair comment. So even if it's braids, hey, sewing, wig, my actual hair, and it's almost as if I started saying, if I was a white girl, would you ask me if this is my real hair, or was just like, oh, your hair looks good, and just the comfortability and just the audacity of a white person to feel that comfortable to ask you, oh, is that your real hair? That's so pretty. I just don't understand. I still can't fathom where that comes from and how they think that's appropriate to even say. And it's like, how long did it take to do that? Or just treating you like you should be on display in some museum. I think it's just very, very strange. But yeah, I dealt with that from white people, of course, and from Black men. I get that a lot. It's almost as if your value goes down if that's not your real hair, or oh, you're only actually pretty if that's your real hair. Is that your real length? Because Black girls don't be wearing their real hair. So a lot of the insecurities that I've had are things that I've thought a lot about would stem from white people's comments, but a lot of Black men, their comments too, about Black women's appearance, or Black girls take her to the pool for the first date so you can see her real hair and her without makeup, and just stuff like that, hearing that growing up. So that has impacted the way that I've viewed myself and beauty in general.
I agree with you, especially with the hair thing. I haven't had any like boys say it about my hair, but like a lot of girls, and especially on like the softball team I'm on, like it's not even my teammates, it'd be like the parents and stuff, because I'm the only Black girl on there. And like a lot of them would ask me if my hair was horsehair, and some of the parents would even just like touch my hair and ask me like, how do I protect it, or if I how long it took, like you said. And they would just be like so fascinated, and I just never really understood why, because I feel like braids and stuff like that's been around for a very long time, and I feel like if it's my real hair or not. Like, I just don't think it shouldn't matter. If you think my hair is pretty, I feel like you should just say you like my hair. You don't have to know if it's real, how long it took. Because I always felt like they were trying to be funny in a way. And that's not for everybody. Like, they generally want to know. But, like, for me, I feel like they're just trying to, like, be funny with it. Or they're, like, they know it's not my real hair. They just want to hear themselves talk. That's how I view it.
Yeah, I went natural my senior year of high school. So that's so my mom was like, you got to cut it off of me. And I was like, I was trying to stick to like the relaxed part forever because I just wanted it to be long. Because she was like, but it's not long. She was like, it's damaged. We can tell. My mom's my biggest humbler. Love her to death, but she's my biggest humbler. And so I remember I went to school the next day and people were like, what'd you do to your hair? Why does it look like this? And so I was just like, huh? I'm very honest. I was like, I had to cut it off. It wasn't like healthy. And I was like, that's for me. But it felt like I was being stared at all of senior year. And my mom was like, how about you get Bach braids? How you do this? How about you do that? And I just remember being like, I didn't want it because back in elementary school and middle school, I remember teachers and like white kids being like, that's not your real hair. We know it's not your real hair. Why are you wearing it? And I'm just like, because I like it. Like I thought I was a baddie, and then they were like, it's not cute. And I was like, well, you're not cute, but that's
Sure.
that's the type of person I am. But like it does sting. You do internalize it. I've gotten out of the internalizing a little bit, because I just don't care anymore. I just do what I want to do for me, and that's how to go with the trauma of being bullied and being told the negative things about yourself. So then you have to like figure out, okay, you can't let this guide you through life because you're really never going to live again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
Whenever me and my sister, we were growing up, we were our hair textures were compared heavily because my whole family on my mom's side is biracial. They all are mixed, like with black and white. So they all have really good hair, curly hair, really nice hair. Me and my sister were the only ones on our dad's side with 4C type hair, only ones. Not my mom's side. And me and my sister, we have different dads, so my hair texture is different than my sister. My sister has really like tight 4C hair. So they'd always say Frida has the good hair, like the good black people hair, and Audrey has the bad black. And it made her like, I don't know how she felt about it, but it made me feel some type of way, like to where I was just like, that makes me uncomfortable. Because at the end of the day, we have the same hair. It's just that her hair is shorter than mine. My hair is more longer than Audrey's. So
I agree
I'm
with
gonna
you on.
stick with.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Maya. No, go ahead.
I agree with Frida on that one because I have 4C, like the real thick hair, and like that's why I don't wear my hair out now. It's because it's like so thick and it's like hard to deal with that. Anytime I do wear it out, well, not now so much, but especially in elementary and middle school, my hair wasn't the longest, and like it was short. I'm not gonna lie, my hair was short, and people had so much to say about it. Like they were always talking about how why is your hair not done? Why does your hair look like this? Why does your hair look like that? And it was just always negative because how thick and 4C it was. That's all I wanted to say. Like I can see where you're from, where she's coming from with that.
I was gonna say I'm gonna stick with this for a little bit because I heard a couple of things that so resonate so much with me. So natural hair and the fact that I've been wearing my natural hair for now going on like 30 years. And in part, it was not a decision of resistance or the fact like, oh yeah, I'm going natural and I just like I want the healthiest hair. It actually came out economically. So for me, economically, I could not afford to go to the beauty salon regularly. We just didn't have that kind of money in my family. And that was in part some bullying that I've experienced in middle school, where the idea of keeping a perm and keeping your hair up and having that straight appearance was for my generation so incredibly important that I was begging for my first perm at like 13. My mom wanted me to wait because it's not good for your hair, right? And I don't, that's no shade against anybody that gets a perm, but it could damage you. But I wanted one because I wanted to fit in. And then I'm sitting for hours by, mind you, it was a community setting. So I'm going to love the fact that I was around other Black women. There were some really cool conversations that I was eavesdropping on, and I'm 13 years old, so I'm getting to hear all kinds of adult business because now they can't tell me to stay in a child's place because I'm literally sitting in your chair and you're talking over my head. But it was the fact that I have a sensitive scalp. And that perm burned the living daylights to the point that I would be crying, waiting for it to set and then to get rinsed out. And I remember at one point in my mind thinking, I would tell my mom's worst secrets if I knew them to have this perm rinsed out of my hair. And I was like, and then I would walk out. And mind you, my hairdresser was a good woman, but she didn't exactly match the style in the picture that I brought to her or the picture I had in my head. And so I would walk out of that having had my scalp burned and a hairstyle that I didn't really enjoy. I'm like looking at myself like, I don't even like myself like this, and have paid her good money to put that on me, right? So I'm like, I'm literally paying to be tortured. And I'm walking out more depressed because I don't like the way my hair looks. And I'm like, why would I continue? Like, I didn't have the money. And then there was a part of me that went to, why would I continue paying for that experience? And so it was just let it go natural. And it took me a while for I didn't do the big chop right away like you did, Cameron. It kind of grew out. And then finally the damaged parts fell off. And then my real curls started to like appear. And it took me years to find the right mixture of hair care products. Like nobody talks about the fact that as Black women, both for our skin and for our hair, and as you mentioned, Jaden, early on for your makeup, we don't just like lickety split walk out looking the best thing that walked off a magazine page. It takes years of trial, and we are a lab. We have to practice. And usually while we're practicing, somebody is behind us commenting, be it your mother, be it your peers, somebody has a comment about what stage you're at and like where you're
Yeah.
going. So I heard that as you guys were talking about hair, and there's power that's granted in Frida. For you and your sister both, the one thing that grates my nerve, and I shouldn't maybe throw so much of myself into this conversation, but is the term good hair. I always put quotes around it because hair is hair. Hair grows out
Exactly.
of my head. Hair is gonna be what I make it. But like good hair, because that ties back to so much associated with white culture and who could get a decent job because they had the right skin tone and their hair was straight enough. So there's just so much history that's wrapped into even our practices today. Um, yeah. I felt like Maya, you wanted to jump in and I was talking over you.
No, no, no. I just I really like how you wear your natural hair out. And I actually really want to wear my natural hair out so bad. But like you said, it takes a while to find like good products because it doesn't matter how many commercials you see, all the Walmart supplies, whatever. It just depends. Like, cause there's a lot of like black owned hair company businesses and it's really good stuff. It just doesn't work for my hair. And I feel like I could start wearing it out, but then it'd just be a lot on me, especially being in high school. There would always be somebody who has something negative to say about it. And I just don't think I could deal with that and still being in school. But I do hope to wear my hair out and try to start to like experience with it. Because I feel like if I take the time, I could learn to do my natural hair and be able just to wear it out. But like right now, it's just too complicated. But I do want to, hopefully. That's all.
I know you will. And I just want to say, when you're talking about how thick your hair is, you're actually talking about the thing that most people want. So as you were describing your hair, I'm thinking she's literally describing the thing that people spend a lot of money medicating for to get thick hair that can endure, it's strong enough. I mean, because wearing braids, that's the other part. Like the pain that I experienced getting a perm, I have never had my hair braided. And that's because I'm so tender-headed that I
Uh,
was afraid of what would be the outcome. So I think I would love for folks, if y'all want to talk about that a little bit, like the other side of beauty, that there's pain connected to it. And I don't know if that's had any impact on the what styles you choose, how you choose to wear your hair, how often you change things up. So yeah, I just have curiosity.
That's actually for me getting my hair braided when I was younger, it hurt a lot. Like I was actually very tender headed, but like my mom, she just made me sit through it because like it was like my hair was hard to deal with because how thick it really was. So like, but for me, trying to comb my hair out every morning or trying to put like leave-in conditioner, stuff like that, I find that really difficult. Like it is for me, it's hard to wash my hair, keep it combed out, or slick it up in a puff ball. I find that really difficult. And in the end, I feel like I comb my hair out no matter no matter how many times I try to comb my hair out, it's still just not how I want it to look. Or it might look good. You know how like you feel like it looks bad, but to other people it might look good. And I just don't like that feeling because if I feel like it looks wrong, I'm not gonna walk out. I don't care if a billion people say it looks right. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna wear it. So that's another reason I just can't wear my hair out because I just always feel like I look weird with my natural hair out or it just don't look right. And I don't like that I think that way, but it's just like I'm so used to having braids or box braids that that's just like my visual of myself is box braids or braids. Like whenever I have my natural, like I only have my natural hair out like once a month just to get it braided right back up because I just don't like how I look in it. But yeah.
I would say for me, it's kind of similar. Can y'all hear me?
Mhm.
I'll say for me, it's similar because I always had a lot of hair growing up and it was very, very thick. My biggest thing was the shrinkage. So whenever I would wash my hair, you walk around the house and you have cousins, sisters, mom, everyone's has a lot of comments. It's just silent because it's like this long. Because I just took it out my box sprays, I just washed it, now it's this. Then whenever I blow dry it, it's like out to here. And it's like, oh, your hair's so beautiful. Your hair look good, Jane. Your hair's got the biggest compliment is always your hair's growing. It got really long.
That
So
is, yeah.
the thing is, if I go to bed that night and I straighten my hair or I flat iron it or blow dried it, if I go to sleep, I sweat a little bit or take a shower with some steam, it's going to go back to this. So I
Mhm.
struggle with looking in the mirror, like at what stage in my life will I be okay with wearing my hair in its natural form and it's this long? And I just struggle with I don't feel pretty. I will start feeling angry looking at whether it's biracial girls or white girls or even black girls that just have a looser hair texture. Because if they wear their hair short, if the texture is a looser curl, it can still be viewed as pretty. But because
Yeah.
mine is coarse and the curls are tighter, it's like I just felt like I looked ugly. And I will always look in the mirror like, I don't think I'll ever be okay with walking outside with this hair. I can't imagine how people will treat me walking outside with my hair like this.
That's how I feel with my natural hair. I think that's funny because that's exactly how I feel with it.
My
When
hair's
I
like
was
really
my bad.
oh sorry. My hair's like really thin and it hits me like right here. So like and like but it grows like this. So I like if I want to do something, I gotta stretch it down, blow dry it on high. But I prefer my natural hair than like braids and stuff because I got into being tender-headed. I wasn't tender-headed. I wouldn't say I'm very tender-headed, but where I didn't get my hair done for years, I didn't know what the feel of braids and stuff, how they felt again. So I remember getting braids for the first time and I was like, oh, how am I supposed to sleep? When I got lost, I was like, oh, this hurts. But then I got used to it. I went to my dad's cookout and I got braids. I got two like, what do they call them? Oh my God, I
But
forgot. Cornrows. Yeah, two cornrows in the back. Oh my God. I was like, oh, I gotta take these out. Because I had like little bumps. I felt bumps on my edges. I said, oh, we're not losing edges today. And I took them out. My grandma was so upset. She was like, why'd you take your hair out? She's like, it was so pretty. And I was like, I have bumps. Like, I'm not doing that. That means your hair is pulling. It's not good. She was like, well, it was pretty. I'm gonna take health over pretty, grandma. And then she was like, so I had my bonnet on when she was leaving, and she was like, let me see what you did to your hair. I was like, nothing. My hair is pretty right now. I'm not touching it because, and I still haven't combed my hair out because I'm scared, but I don't know what's gonna happen because I'll have all this product in my hair. She did a really good job, but the amount of product in my hair right now, I don't even, I'm sick already. That's like the other thing. My scalp is so gonna be so angry at me because it's usually clean. There's usually nothing on it, even with the hair products
I
that I
that's
use.
my bad. I did not mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, that's the hair products that I use.
Hmm?
No, I was talking about the hair products that I use are good.
Oh.
My scalp stays clean.
Period. I feel like whenever I get box braids or stuff like that, or even these, I feel like if you put a whole lot of products in your hair, that actually like pulls your hair out. And I've like noticed that quite a bit. Like depending on what braider you go to, if you put a whole lot of product, it actually pulls your hair out. And that's another reason why I'm trying to stop wearing braids. But it's just like so difficult. And I know what you're talking about, the bumps and stuff with how tight your hair is. I have to get through it. I just won't wear my hair out. Like I just be like, it's gonna be okay.
I
When
think
I
a
was in
big
like
no, go ahead, go ahead.
you're good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
It's really, I was going to say something really short, but a big misconception. People assume because our hair is more coarse and more thick, that means you have to be more aggressive and comb it out. But actually, the more coarse it is, the more gentle you have to do. And finger detangling is better than detangling with the comb. But that's just that goes even deeper. People thinking Black people have what is it? That we can take pain, have a higher pain tolerance than white people. Same thing with our hair. And sometimes we do it to each other and you just like start ripping it
Yeah.
out. Our hair is more fragile than a white person's hair because it is more coarse. But yeah.
That's so real.
I was gonna add on to
Rita?
what Cameron was saying. Oh, my bad. I was gonna add on to what I was gonna add on to what Cameron was saying about the braids and like having them. When I was in elementary school, like specifically 5th grade, I got my hair blowed all the time. Like it was always straight, only because it was easier to like put in a ponytail. Like my dad used to do my hair, so he didn't know how to slap some gel up on my hair. So he just would take me to the place, get my hair blow dried, flat ironed, and I would do it in a ponytail every day. When I got to 5th grade, I started seeing all my friends with crochets and nice weaves, and I was like, "Oh, I want to do that. Like, I want to get my hair done like that." And my dad was just like, so he was like, I'm gonna do it on your hair. He tried to braid my hair and a piece came out and I was like, I was devastated because it was like so much gel. It was so bad. He did a horrible job. So my first time going to like, not like first time ever, because I've had like braids, of course, but like getting box braids or like a design, I absolutely hate it. I was crying. I was in tears, just the like, what is it like whining where you like fumble with the lip, like that. I was doing all that because I was so like and it was by Africans too, and it was hurting so bad. So then my mom, she was like, "Well, I'm gonna start doing your hair since you want to do all this because we can't have that." So I started. So what we did was like I was in 6th grade, mind you, at my big age. I was going to sleep and she'd do my hair while I was asleep. So that's what we had to do.
What gets me is the price of hair. Oh my gosh. The price in Nebraska is 10 times better than West Virginia because yeah, I was so happy. I was like, okay, I'm moving to Omaha. I'm gonna look at the prices of hair, and I was like, oh, I can get medium knotless for like 180 to 200. I'm set, hair included.
Oh, that's a nice deal. It's the deposits that get me. The little
Yeah.
$30 deposit put down.
Yeah,
Like,
when
don't
I
tell me I can't get my money back.
Hair
like
is like very expensive, like because I try to keep my hair done like I said, and I just found this new braider, and like she wants you to pay like 200 some and buy your own hair, and it's just like it's hard to keep up with that. My job, I only go there but so much, but like the money I put into my hair like every month, oh sometimes I'll get it done twice a month. It's a lot, like just it's just crazy the prices of hair.
yeah, when I saw people that were flying to Nigeria and it was cheaper to get their hair done with the airfare than what people pay, I was like, oh, I can't do that. Even natural hair products, they last me about 2, 3 months. I'm like a thing of gel costs $28, and I'm sick when it runs
Yeah,
out. I'm like scraping with the spatula, trying to get it all out.
that's me. That's funny.
Yeah, with the weave,
Oh,
it is so expensive. I'm lucky if I even find like one with like 3 packs at most, because our local Charleston's so small. Our local beauty supply store, when I be there, it be all out. I be having to go here, there, back there,
Yeah.
and then the gel. Like my friends, like here, you can use some of my eco gel for the weekend. I cannot use that for these edges. These things do not work with no eco.
I don't know how some like my friend Ladea, she has beautiful hair, and oh, I did it again, but like she uses the I cannot use it. It just don't work. She'd be like, Maya, here, let me try it. Just does it work? And she just be like, I don't know what's wrong. It works with my hair. And I just be like, it just
Yeah,
doesn't work. I just find that so funny.
the only gel I can
what?
use on my edges is got to be. And I gotta
Thank
blow it right now. That's the only thing that works. But same with the wig prices. I buy my wigs on Amazon. I pluck it myself. My sorority sister taught me. I pluck it myself. I do it myself. My, I was going to a conference and my wig popped off, and I was like, "Oh no!" I didn't have any of the stuff with me. It was all back in Morgantown because I was at home in Charleston, and I was like, and the power went out because it was a storm. It was a storm, and I'm like trying to figure out, okay, how can I get the glue? I didn't know a little bottle of glue cost $28. I was sick.
Oh God.
I would
Yeah,
have been done.
as a Black
Say it
woman,
again.
I definitely learned as a Black woman, it's important to at least know how to do one hairstyle on your own to yourself, especially whenever I started college. I was like, okay, what's my go-to hairstyle? If it's just a quick crochet or some box braids or something, but and then at my school, I went to school in Pennsylvania, college in Pennsylvania. The local hair stores no Black products. So that was another thing. I had to Amazon. Just like being a Black girl, hair does it takes up a lot of your life. So I was like, what is a hairstyle I can do if I have class at 8 a.m. and then I go to bed late? So and then people were like, oh, why don't you wear your natural hair, or you had that hairstyle in for so long, or it's just a lot. You might have to play sick for a couple of days to do your hair, or miss class. Like I've done it all. It's a lot.
I've definitely
That's
missed
I
class.
want
what
Me too. I've missed games, school days, doctor's appointments for a hair appointment. I tell you.
But one time I even missed the first day of school because my hair was cut and I was not going. Like I refused to go to school if my hair's not done. Like one time I had to break into tears. My mom wouldn't make me go to school. Like I just refused. That's why I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do when I go to college because I cannot do hair at all. I can't do a ponytail, comb it out. I just get frustrated. So I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I'm gonna have to find somebody.
Yeah. The thing that gets me, well, first off, whenever you're in college, there's another Black girl that's just like you, and y'all would definitely help each other out. Cause I just find other, and even Black boys, they'll be like, I'll look at their hair. They need somebody to line their hair up too, because there's no barberist near. But the thing that gets me is I always look at the white girls in those situations. I'm like, wouldn't it be crazy if we lived in a society where we could just throw our hair in a bun or in a quick
Really?
ponytail and just walk out the house? Like they don't have to lay their edges. They can just walk out. That's one thing I always think about. Like I can't even go to class this morning because my hair isn't done. Because my natural hair is in its natural state. I can't go to class. But
Yeah,
then
like
white
I
a weight off their shoulder they never have to worry about in their day-to-day life.
Like I remember like
Which
I just like hated my hair. Like I used to be like, I wish my hair was straight. Like I just really hated my hair for a while because of how hard it was. And I just always thought it was cool how some of my like white friends could just brush their hair real quick. They could share their little brushes or do what they had to do. And then you just had me like I can't do that, y'all. And I always just like I don't hate my hair now. I like it actually. Other not when it's like out, but like when it's in braids, I like my hair. But it's just really hard to just do it or just like tame your hair. Because I know like if your hair is tamed after a while, it's like it's easier to start to just put it in a back ponytail or just like a puff ball. But when your hair is not tamed, like mine isn't at all, it's just difficult, like just hard.
And that's like the
one
same
thing
with
I
me. Like,
love. Oh, I don't mean to interrupt you. You go ahead, Frida.
you're good. It's like I was agreeing with Maya, like, I had to find my hair texture because my hair was always straight, but like I was going to the beauty place, so it was growing while I was straight, you know, it was like but it wasn't like straight, it was like poofy. So, but like things like when I would get it in water, stuff like that, like it just was like it wouldn't like squeeze up, but it wouldn't curl up how it used to be. It would just like, I don't know, straighten out. That's when I knew I had a problem. Like even like in 8th grade, I started to go back to my little toothpaste buns because that's what I did with a little gel. And it would just like the texture of my hair wasn't the same anymore. I was just like, what is going on? And to this day, like my hair texture is still like never been fully recovered from where I was like blowing my hair out so much. Like I've never known what my hair texture is.
And even when your hair's,
I
oh, sorry. And even when your
no,
hair's straight,
no, you
you
go.
can't go up and throw it in a bun. I'm like, I was like, so I did all this for nothing. I still gotta go
No,
back and straighten it.
but like the
I
humidity,
love.
it's just like you'll get it all nice and ready as soon as you step outside. 20 minutes later, it's time to go back inside. It's like so bad. That's another thing with my hair. Like it'll look all nice and slicked up for that good 20 minutes, and then it's over. It's like time to put the scarf back on, and it's just hard.
I love how rich this conversation is. I want to note that when we were talking about beauty, style, hair, that hair is consuming the most of our thinking, our time, our perception. I love how we have our own lingo because I know that the audience that will be listening to us is going to be diverse in the sense that there'll be white folks listening. And I'm going to guess they're going to need a dictionary and or some sort of little side piece to like define like the way we talk about our hair and hairstyle is like a science. We're like, I got 4C hair, I got 4A hair. Some of us have a difference all over our head. We know about tender headed. We like the terms that we just so easily like you guys were naming it. I completely understood the language. Like I'm there. But there's so many people who don't live in our experience as Black women that do not have this language, do not have this understanding, or as you said, how much expense and how much time and the things that we have to miss out on at times because we need to present a certain way to be accepted. And I heard that like a strand of that through everybody's own individual experience. And so I wanted to I have both a funny question. I think maybe we can pin that one for a little bit later because I got a couple of them examples myself, but I wanted to hear what is your wildest hair story? Like I have a wild hair story. I see the laughter. So because we all have one. We have multiple wild hair stories. All of us have something that we have done that has been like, if we said this out loud, which I'm gonna be brave and tell mine. And I hope that you will take the invitation to tell yours. But to just give an understanding, and the reason we have wild hair stories is because we have to. And I think that ties to how and why the Crown Act is so important to us. I know that people dismiss it so quickly, are ready to toss it off, but the depth and the nuance that we have gone through in just 20-minute conversation about hair is just scratching the surface of why we need a policy to protect us. I want to talk about the Crown Act, but I feel like the wild story got such a good response that I'm gonna go there first and I'm gonna tee mine up. So I've been natural because of economics, right? And I was taking care of it myself through trial and error and experiment. And I finally found a hairdresser, and it took me living 7 years because I lived in Huntington, West Virginia when I lived in West Virginia. It took me 7 years of living, seven, nine. It took me 9 years of living in West Virginia in Huntington to trust that someone knew how to hold and care for my hair outside of me. And I wasn't necessarily doing 100% great job. And I finally found a person that I trust, and she like did a beautiful job. She gave me color. I got a silk press, which I only do that like once or twice a year because of shrinkage and humidity. It ain't worth the effort and it ain't worth the price. But unless the weather is perfect. And um and she up and moved her shop because there was like a family situation, and she didn't want to set up shop or continue to set up shop in Huntington. And I drove 5 hours to Detroit to 8 Mile because that's where she was from and that's where she set up shop. I was straight up on 8 Mile. Eminem had crap on me, and sitting to the point where when she was done with my hair and it was like 8 o'clock at night, she's like, I gotta walk you to your car. And I was like, why? She's like, girl, just trust me. I'm gonna walk you to your car. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, because this is how important it is for me to have my hair done well, cared for, done right, was I turned around to her and I was like, listen, whatever this family situation is that you got going on, you need to straighten it out and come back to Huntington so I ain't got to drive 5 miles both each way to get my hair done. And she's like, girl, you literally, I'm like, I'm all in your business now. What do we need to do to get anything corrected? Because I can't keep driving 5 hours to get my hair done. But I sat there and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this again. I did it one more time. So there's ways and things that you will do to look a certain way. And Maya, I think you said it when you were talking about your hair, resonated deeply with me. Sometimes it's not about the outward projection. There's some there, right? There's some part of like, I want to look presentable. I got to be respected on blah, 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 blah. But a lot of it is like my own perception. Like if I don't feel good in my skin or in my hair, then I can't be who I am. And so like a lot of the ways in which I would drive 5 hours again, probably if I knew where she was, is because she made me feel good, right? She made me feel good. So I know in my heart why I did it. It cost me gas, money, it costs all the things. But I probably would do it again if I could find her and or somebody that could treat my hair the way that she did. But I'm gonna leave it on the table in the circle. Anybody can pick up the mic. What's your wildest story?
So this goes back to the wig. So my sorority sister did my wig, and because it was a sorority conference, I was like, I'm not trying to touch my hair. I know how me and my natural hair get. I'm not trying to do it. So she put the wig cap on. I was like, this is tight. I'm like, is it going to stay? Like, yeah, it'll stay. I was like, all right, cool. And so I drive the 2.5 hours home. I'm chilling. I'm like, wow, this is like really tight. But I'm thinking nothing of it. And so I am sitting down. Oh, sorry, I heard the echo. So I'm sitting down in my living room, and all of a sudden, I just like feel this like kind of release, and the wig cap popped off under my wig, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I don't have anything on me. I left it on 2.5 hours away. I was going to Cleveland the next morning." So, and it's like, you know how Charleston is, nothing's open. It's like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm just like, oh my God, how can I fix this? I didn't put the wig on. I don't know how to put a wig on. And so I just like take it off and I just have like the little braids underneath and I'm just sitting now in the dark. Like, how am I supposed to get this done before I go to Cleveland? When I'm with a bunch of my sorority sisters. And so I'm looking up places, like one place is open the earliest, and they were like one shop on the west side that opened up early. And I was like, okay. I was like, I gotta go get it. I was like, I need to find the hair dryer. I'm like flashlight in our linen closet trying to get the hair dryer. And like I said, I don't know how to do a wig. So I'm on TikTok trying to figure out how to do a wig. I'm up for hours. And so I realized that now since I have a big old head, I need 2 wig caps. But once I got to Cleveland, I laid the wig right. But yeah, that was my worst fear come to life. I was like, thank God I wasn't in public and the wig just like flopped up in the back. Like I would have been devastated.
Thank you, Cameron. I see you coming off on mic, Maya. You got a story?
Oh, yeah, I have. It's more like a hair era I was in. Okay, so it was so this freedom remembers. Oh, special time. Okay, so like this is my first stop. Okay, because I used to have to, like in elementary school mainly, I had to wear my natural hair out, and it just wasn't given. But anyways, this is the beginning of 6th grade year, and I was gonna come to middle school with box braids. I was excited because at first my mom, we didn't have the money to pay for like all like a known hairstylist or somebody to do it really good. So we had my cousin do it, right? And my mom, she did me dirty because she let me choose the hair, the color, everything, right? So I decided to get white, orange, and yellow. Like there was no black or nothing. It was just white, orange, and yellow. And my cousin, she's not too experienced, so she just had big braids, just like boxes in my head. And you just had red, I'm not red, but orange, yellow, and white. And they just called me candy corn at school. It was like bad. And then there was another time I wanted, my mom still let me choose my hair colors, and I chose pink and blue. There was no black. The bases were pink and blue. And they called me baby reveal. And it was just bad. Like, I just had some colors in my head. Like, she could do black in the front and the color in the back, but my whole head was just blue and pink. And then you saw the black roots. It was bad. Like, my yearbook photos are so embarrassing. And I was in middle school because it was just like, my mom didn't have to do me like that.
You got a picture in that? Oh,
It's like multiple people have photos. Cause I thought I was her. I thought I was the baddest on the block in first grade. Not first grade, but sixth grade year. And it was embarrassing because they'd just be like, wow. And I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, y'all are just mad. No, I was embarrassed. Like, my mom wanted to talk about something. It's so cute. He was wrong. It's like, that's it though. But I had a crochet era too. That was bad. That was 8th grade year. And this is when I'd have my hair just like, it'd be crochet, straight backs, and then they crochet it in. So I just wear my hair in just a little ponytail right here, right? And I didn't do my edges. So I just like take gel and just push them all back, right? And it was to the point like my whole front of my head was just white. Like I was just walking around and the front of my head was just white, and it was bad. And the crochet would come out sometimes at middle of school day. And it was embarrassing. Like, my hair came a long way because I just walk around looking crazy. Like my Snapchat memories, I'll see it sometimes and I'll just be like, why my mom and sister let me walk around like that? But that's really it. It's just
We're coming close to the wrap of our conversation. And I know that you guys are both brilliant. You're all brilliant. You're vocal. You are representing Black women and Black girls in a beautiful way, particularly in West Virginia. And so I wanted to get your thoughts, articulating why the crown is so important, because I feel that folks, particularly those in power, have been brutal in their slighting of why this is significant. I wish it were not as significant. I wish we did not have to fight for public policy so that we could walk in the hair that grows off our heads in the way that it grows or the way that we want to style it or wear it. But I feel this is an opportunity for you to speak to truth to power. What is it about the Crown Act and the need for it that you fight for, or that you're angry, and where we have every right to be angry, you're angry that you even have to fight for it? I would love for folks to talk about that.
When I first learned about the Crown Act, I was a freshman at Black Policy. I had no idea what it was. And everybody was like, this is important. I was just like, why? Like, we do it anyway. Like, why? Like, I was just so confused. And still, I'm like still a little confused about it. Like, still now, like, I don't fully understand. But from what I was told, like, I mean, like, I've never had, like, no one's ever told me you couldn't wear, like, my braids to where I'm supposed to be at. But I get there's other people that can't wear braids. Like, I just find that baffling. Like, other people can't be accepted for wearing braids or like just a common afro or crochet anything. And I feel like that's just enough fighting for itself. Like, you can't express your beauty, your culture. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, this is all us. Like, because some people, like, they like me, I can't do it with my hair on a good day-to-day basis. So I have to do this. Like, put in a ponytail and go out my day. But like for you to sit there and say I can't, like it just kind of gives me a side eye.
I think the people in power need to realize it's based off of Eurocentricity, of where they want us to be white people. They want our hair to conform to them. For me, it's really important because I could walk in with my natural hair and someone can tell me that I can't have a job. So the economic the economic power is resting on my hair. But if I come in a wig and it's straight, they're going to give me a job. So I think the difference in knowing that you're telling me one thing's natural because the wig is human hair. It's not synthetic, it's human. So you're telling me I can't have I can't have my natural hair, but I can have somebody else's natural hair. Even when it comes to specific colors for Black women, and people have to go through this in the military too, they get their hair dyed a natural ginger or a natural blonde or natural brown, and they're like, it's not natural. It's not natural to me because of what? The color of my skin. It's natural because another person is walking around with that same hair color. But you're basically upon the color of my skin, and it's rooted in racism and wanting Black people to conform to Eurocentric values. And I think that's what's most important about it. And what people in power need to realize is you're just trying to control us and what we can do and what type of jobs we can have, even if that. You know, some people, you go to a small business, they're like, we don't want your hair to look like that. And they could base it upon health rules and everything like that. But I can just wear a hairnet. But it's also like they come with more and more rules on top of that. So it's protecting us and our rights that we have through the Constitution.
I would say, yeah, the biggest thing for me when it came to when it comes to the Crown Act, I worked with ACLU during this legislative session, and I helped host a sit-in for the Crown Act. So I called local hairstylists in West Virginia to come do a retwist on a model, and he had locks. So she was retwisting his locks outside of a senator's office who was refusing to pass the Crown Act. So it was a sit-in just to prove a point to him, like, we're going to show up, we're going to speak up, and we need more Black people to show up. And at the Capitol, it's all white people voting on Black hair, and they were like using the terms wrong and just didn't understand. But the bill, all it stated was it's illegal to discriminate against Black people's natural hair. And so my biggest thing was, why is that so hard to just vote on? Why is it hard to pass it? So my biggest thing was the why. And what I found interesting working at the Capitol, I would have white women come up to me and go, "Your hair is so beautiful. You're so pretty." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And it'll be a legislator, a senator, or a delegate. I'm like, "So you voted for the Crown Act, right?" And they go, we'll see about that." And the woman, she voted no. And she had a loose hair texture too. It was a loose curl hair texture. But she voted no for the passage of the Crown Act. So I think it boils down to, it's just these European beauty standards and them wanting control. I think they know that it's simple. They know that it's basic human rights to not discriminate against Black people because of our natural hair. They just want that control.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, there's Black girls in school getting their braids cut off by the teacher. There's people that I know in West Virginia who they got offered a higher position. They're like, "Yeah, but you have to get rid of your dreads. You can't come into work like that. Or you look unprofessional or unkept." And it's needed. They know it's needed. They know probably more about it than we think they do. They just want that control.
I really agree. I just feel, I don't know, I know about the Crown Act, but like I just like, not recently, but like I just like found out what it means, is like what's going on. And I just feel like it's not right, because I feel like you shouldn't base it off of our hair texture or how we look. If we have the qualities for the job, or if we're doing good, it shouldn't matter that our hair is in dreads or braids or an afro. Because I feel like you can have an afro and still look like presentable, and like you deserve to have the job and just stuff like that. So I just feel like it just, I don't know, people not agreeing with the Crown Act stuff, I just think it's weird. And I just feel like it shouldn't matter how our hair is, because if we feel like we look presentable, then you should just be okay with that. You shouldn't try to change us or what we wear or how our hair looks. You should just be okay with what we're wearing, because you're not the one wearing it. You don't have to because most like white people, they can just wake up, brush their hair, but we have to do more for our hair. So I just feel like it's just a little weird.
I agree.
I sometimes don't think like people understand, like, and I've had to tell my friends like the term wash day. When I say wash day, it's an all day experience. That's a day about 6 to 8 hours I'm taking away from not reading them law school books that I'm taking like to do my hair. I'm deconditioning it. I'm washing. I'm finger detangling, but then I'm brush detangling. Then I have to sit and then finger all the product through it, multiple steps. in sections, and then I got to sit with this little space machine thing with the hair dryer because over my head for like 3 hours, and I can't hear anything, so I can't like do focus on work. So I think it's understanding that, and it's kind of like taking the time away from us too. That's the benefit they
Yes.
get from the time that we don't get to do things that our white counterparts get to do. Same thing with, I know in West Virginia, and I know how many other places that for their hair test, they don't really have to learn how to do Black people's hair. They don't know the
Yes.
type. So like you said, it's going to be a different language for white people learning this when we say 4A, 4B, all those different things, because they don't understand. We say perm, but it's really a relaxer. So like the differences in the how in our culture and our lingo that we have. And I think that people are scared that when we go to the Crown, like I think that's why, and I'm gonna name drop him, Eric Tarr, out of that fiscal note, because he knew that there might have been some type of financial thing. Now, granted, he said $5,000 and people raised it in West Virginia, lickety split, but he knew it might have been able to be on a test for the hair and beauty school, which it should be. Even though there's a small population in West Virginia, we shouldn't have to drive X amount of hours to get our hair done. I was in Morgantown driving to Charleston, missing school, definitely missing work to go get my hair done because that was the only available appointment before I would go on a trip or something. And that's not fair to us because that's gas, that's money, that's education I missed out on. I didn't miss on money because I took vacation days, but other things I could be doing that could be better with my time than worrying about my hair. And I think that's what he
I
was
hear you.
scared.
I
Like
hear
even
you.
the sorry, I'm sorry.
No,
Um,
Frida, go ahead.
Even
piggyback on,
with the people like in Charleston that know how to do hair, me and my sister, there was nobody that would do our hair that wasn't like using a hot comb. So me and my sister's like, we for Easter we'd go to the beauty college to get our hair did. None of the people, like none of the workers, none of the hairstylists knew how to work with 4C hair, especially like my sister's really thick hair. So like my hair was nice and bumped and the nice little bumps, but they burnt off like 2 inches of my sister's hair. And I remember my mom was like going off. I didn't know really what for, but all I remember my sister coming home and she had a pixie made cut for her. And I just remember her in tears and I was just like, I know. I was baffled.
Mhm.
I was gonna piggyback off of Cameron for a sec with the Eric Tarr thing. So whenever like we presented him the $5,000 check, that was a few organizations that helped raise that in under, I believe, 48 hours just to present, because like to pass a check or to pass a bill that prevents discrimination would for some reason.
Get away from my dog. Is she right here?
Oh, Frida, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
just touch on the feeling of just sitting in the room during that time, and it was all white men talking about Black hair and the faces that they would make. Like, so I think someone made a comment, so their hair just grows out in those braids or those cornrows that they're do, like that's just how it grows out their head. Like just the ignorance, and then them having the right to vote on it, and a Black woman or Black men having to sit there and listen to it, and then them just arrogantly just being like, well, what's the point of this? And if someone tells you to change your hair, you should change it. I know I can't afford to if I have my hair loose and not in a ponytail. So just like the ignorance behind it, and the way that there needs more representation in West Virginia, just of Black women, especially in those spaces, people that are willing to show up and speak, because the ignorance and the way they didn't even understand the basics when it came to Black hair was just ridiculous. And I can't imagine, if you tell those privileged old white men, like, if you want to be a legislator, you can't be bald, you have to grow some hair up here, they would lose their mind. You cannot tell them anything. So yeah, that's just
Or you could tell them if they are going bald and faking it by either wearing their own version of a weave or their own version of a wig, which is a toupee, that's not allowed. If God took your hair away, roll with it.
right.
But I think there's so much richness in what you said, what you all have said, particularly around the power and the control, the lack of representation, which needs to change. And I would encourage the folks that I am sharing space with tonight and the folks that are listening that we need new representation at the West Virginia legislature. I say we because I still have a lot of people that I care deeply about that live in that state and they deserve better. We will get the Crown Act passed. at some point it will happen, be it the fact that we who's in the legislature to get it done, or we bend the hands of those at the legislature currently to get it done. But we will build the power to make sure that we get the protection that we not only deserve, but that we have earned just for being human, just for being women, and just for being on this earth. I want to thank you all so much for this conversation. This has been great. I've loved the laughs. I've loved the stories. I've loved the truth telling. I've loved the vulnerability that you've offered to this conversation. And I hope the folks that are listening are feeling just as blessed from hearing what you've shared. So on behalf of me, Jaden, Cameron, Maya, and Frida, I thank you for listening, for spilling the Black Girl Tea. We invite you to check out our other video episodes on the YouTube channel for Justice and Jubilee, and podcast episodes on Accidental Tomatoes podcast. Thank you all.